Okay, let's see who is next. For mid-May, we've already done Scorpio. Capricorn, we've already done. Mid-May, oh my God, what am I saying? Mid-July. Virgo. Have we done Virgo? We have. Cancer, it's your turn. We're just about to enter Leo season, but Cancer, it's your turn. Past, present, future read for mid-July. We're just about into Leo season. So I guess technically I should probably just bite the bullet and do Leo's reading right after yours. So if you're a Cancer, Leo, cusp individual, happy birthday to you. We'll start off with the magnetic poetry to get some messages for you, followed by the past, present, future read. In August's readings, I'm going to do a different spread, probably what is hidden spread or something like that. Got a new deck I'm going to be using for your reading. It's the Grim Tale Tarot. And then we'll use the Rebel Oracle and the I Am Power Pack for an affirmation and an oracle message for you. Get out a pen and a piece of paper. Check the description box for everything that you need to know. If you are a Cancer, I want to say it was also Gemini who had some of these words, but maybe not. I don't know. Seemed like I had stirred them up enough while we were chatting here. Get out a pad and a piece of paper so that a pad and a piece of paper. A pen and a pad of paper. Jot these down. And then we can get started. It's my last day of my vacation. I've made myself a big pot of coffee so I can have iced coffee all day, nap a little, just leisurely, enjoy myself before I go back to work. But let's get started for you here. So happy together. I don't know why I've got that stuck in my head, but I do. And somebody asking, and how is the weather? One last. Let's try that again. One last roll. Okay, twist for fairness. All right, flippers and jumpers, only maximum of 3. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is the past energy for you moving into mid-July? I think we're also where Mercury has stationed retrograde, so that's good. Okay, Page of Pentacles in the upright with the 5 of Wands in the reverse. I thought I had my glasses with me. Okay, anyways, Page of Pentacles in the upright. See how this guy's got a key on the end of his nose? It's kind of like a Pinocchio type setup here. He's got the coin in his hand. Seems as if there's some type of communication of worth here. I always like to think of it like that. Like there's some tangibility to the communication itself. Something about somebody's time, something about somebody's efforts. But it's something that somebody can kind of like hold on to or take with them or something. Like the communication, there's some key communication. Something that's important. There's something of importance to do with time or monetary or something like that that's being communicated here in the recent past. It brings a sense of peace. Because Five of Wands there in the reverse is about conflict. Let me just grab my glasses. There's a sense of peace that comes about with this, you know, because of this communication here. Normally, Five of Wands in the upright is conflict, right? So there's a feeling of peace that this communication brings about. So there's something that is a communication about somebody's worth, or about their worthiness, or about the time that was spent on something being worth it, or the energy that was expelled in order to accomplish something. It's a key communication. I keep on looking at that key. What else do we have here in the past, in the recent past, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Let me also make sure that we're recording. Okay, brilliant. Okay, we have a 10 of Swords. Ouch. Looks like there's a great deal of pain here, but I don't, you know, there's a lot of disambiguation that has to come from, that comes from voodoo dolls. A lot of people think that voodoo dolls are there to cause pain, but I have heard stories about the voodoo doll was actually where they would put the pins in for when somebody was trying to heal a specific ailment. So this could be where the grief, the loss, the abandonment, the sickness, and all of that that's culminating in the 10 of Swords, where somebody is seeing an end to that, where they could be seeing healing happen eventually as a result of the ending of a painful situation, where the painful situation is coming to a conclusion because it's coming to a head. Almost as if to say the pain was worth it and that there'll be ultimate peace. Somebody's come to the realization that's what the communication is about. Tell me more. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. There is heartbreak associated with it. But remember, it is also an ending and therefore a beginning. The ability to move on from something that was really causing a lot of tumult in the head space. A lot of words and a lot of painful words associated with it. It was, you know, fated to happen this way, seems. But also, it's the season for this to have changed. It became time for this to change. It was destined to change. You know, think of the Wheel of the Year, or where a turn of events is meant to occur. Like you think of the cycles and the seasons, right? It came the season for this ending. Fixed signs of Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. On that. Could also be by chance that somebody encounters something like there's a turn of events that creates some pain, but I kind of feel like this is the season for the endings and the beginnings. That it's referring to here. With that, we have, I really love this deck. I'm sorry, I really do. It's kind of more of a fall deck, but I still wanted to start learning how to use it. There's patience and waiting that needs to occur here. In the past, the pain and the healing that comes after, the ultimate of grief, sickness, loss, abandonment. is a part of the turning of the seasons, the change that occurs as a natural rhythm in life, and a natural, I wanted to say algorithm, but a natural progression to the way life is. Somebody has been very patient with the way this kind of has been a long drawn out suffering, with the realization that when it does finally culminate into an ending of sorts, there's peace that's coming as a part of it. Peace offering before the end. But the need for perspective, somebody took the time to gain perspective because it was such a long drawn out thing. Somebody had the ability to kind of see things from a different person, to see the world for what it was. What else? The recent past. Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy. Virgo energy we have here. Somebody's been looking towards a Virgo season with this in mind. Very slow moving night. So we have the words here, the action comes in the recent past as well, but very slow to come to the forefront. It's very strategic and methodical. And the action comes on the heels of surveying the land before taking the steps required. The natural progression of things, the wheel of the year, the wheels of time. It seems as if this has been a very timely and time-consuming process up here in the recent past for you, Cancer. We're even seeing this take place and come to pass over quite some time. 5, 10, 10, 2. 5, 10, 10, 2. 5, 10. October 5th. In the past, May 10th. 10, 2. October 2nd. It's been slow movement forward. Very slow movement forward. The wheels of time have been slow. But the action that has been taken has been slow as well, in terms of the sickness, the healing, but also in terms of how to address it. See the compass here? Somebody's been seeking the correct direction. An X will mark the place, almost as if there's a map, treasure to find. The luck of the cat, right? And the present for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It's rather ominous, this first line here. Sorry, so I've just been kind of had to look at it a little closer. Very ominous. In the present, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Really really do love the artwork on this deck. It's the Grim Tales Tarot. Oh, whoa, that's card vomit. Can't take that many. Tell me more. Okay. With it, we have the Ace of Swords, truth. There's a truth to this communication. There's a timeless truth to this communication that brings about peace in the present. It settles the argument, settles the conflict as well. The truth settles the conflict, cleaves clean. There's no longer a debate about what is right, not what is right or wrong, but what is correct. Seems there was at some point a lot of conflict about what the truth was in a situation in the present. But the communication in and of itself about the worthiness, about the tangible pieces of investment over time, money, effort, the key. You see, it's interesting that we have Pinocchio here, because I was going to talk about if you remember Pinocchio and the reason his nose grows is because he's told a lie. Then we have underneath it the Ace of Swords, which is the truth. The truth and the lie. And what brings peace, finally settles the debate, is the truth coming out after. Potentially there may have been a lie communicated in the past that has to do with worth, investment, what the key was. These both have button eyes. What was being invested where? I don't always approach Pentacles from a money perspective, because Pentacles are about so much more than money. They're about where we spend. Anything we spend our time, we spend our energy, we spend our effort. Anything we waste our time, we waste our money, we waste our energy, we waste our effort. So think about those four things primarily. It can also be about career, offers, things that we can hold in our hands, but also things that we spend and things we can that we can't get back. Irrevocably lost. Ace of Wands, two aces, two beginnings in the present here, Cancer. So we have a truth that, for lack of a better term, sets us free. The truth that is being communicated about a lie, or a truth and a lie. It brings somebody peace finally, or sets something straight. Having to do with, something tangible, something that was spent, wasted, freedom of, being able to spend the time on something. And then there's a spark of inspiration, an idea in the Ace of Wands. It seems as if, now, this isn't necessarily going to go with the interpretation on the card, because, of course, I know everybody knows the classic interpretations of the Ace of Wands is about the matchstick of the divine. It's about inspiration. It's about the beginning stirrings of creativity within somebody, the beginning passions that set somebody up to begin to tell their story or create something. There's something about this that kind of looks like performance to me. Something artistic. And it does look very performative. But there's a performative piece about pain. But there's also something that it's almost as if somebody derives their inspiration and their creative spark from their suffering. Almost as if they treat it as if it's an outlet. And the truth is that they also gain a sense of peace through that. Kind of reminds me of the Issues doll, just the face and the buttons for eyes. What else? The Nine of Swords. In the reverse, there's no longer any sleepless nights once this ends. Once the cycle is finished. Once the events have come to pass in the present, once it's all been communicated and it's all out in the open, once the die is cast, once the cards are out on the table, the sleepless nights, the grief bed, the sick bed is turned on its head. See how it's in the reverse? The spell is broken. And there is peace. It's also nightmares, anxiety, worry. Somebody might also use their anxiety and their worry to propel them forward in passionate endeavors. It kind of helps to kind of light a fire up underneath them. They don't even have to use their brain. If only I had a brain, the Scarecrow. But it's almost like everything becomes instinctual when they operate like that. There's something here about chance. Chance would have it, or a turn of events, a recent turn of events results in this. An alleviation of pain in the sickbed. Tell me more. And the president for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Oh, I have a flipper here. I can't take all of these. I can't take these though. They sat on the table, so that's what we're... That one wanted to twist around. Okay. The Four of Wands. So there's a stroke of luck, or like a turn of fate, as chance would have it. The wheel turns. The next phase is for a new home, or not necessarily a new home, but a firmer foundation in the home in the present. The alleviation of anxiety, worries, sleepless nights, nightmares, the grief bed or the sick bed comes when there's stability in the home space. This is also typically the four pillars of the marriage bed, the four walls of the home, the security and stability created by those things. And I think that's kind of like, you know, common sense, though, that anxiety and all that kind of stuff is alleviated by security and stability within the home space. That's common sense, you know. That's the tarot just being Captain Obvious, right? And with it, we have the Three of Wands. It's funny that we have the Two of Wands on top of it, because this is really just saying patience and more patience. that everyone's time will come to celebrate the stability. But the time is nigh for one to put down their worry and because the worry is making them sick. Turn to everything. There's a season and a time to every so that's what because this is like, there's a season for everything. You just have to wait for it a little bit longer. It's also about reaping what one has sown here, but the need to wait for the germination of one's seeds, although that's often depicted in the Seven of Pentacles. It's also a part of the Three of Wands. He's got his sickle there, but you also see it in the Three of Wands when you see the guy sitting there looking at all of his stuff that he's planted with his 3 wands. So it's almost as if to say that, the stability of your home space will be that the stability will extend as far out as you've sown. It'll depend on, the quality of tree that you planted. I think we had the 5 of Swords. It seems there's a little bit of self-deception here. Self-deception that potentially moving slowly and logically and methodically and taking that slow methodical action was all that had to happen in order for things to be successful in that regard in the present. It seems that right now there's a caution about the self-deceptive nature of things, that all you have to do, don't rest on your laurels. Thank you. Don't rest on your laurels, because it seems like you could embrace this energy of just being, because this is the slowest moving night, taking action from very long drawn out perspective, and that's going to afford you the most successful outcome. That's not necessarily true. And so fooling yourself into thinking the longer you wait and the more time that you expend waiting for things to kind of come to fruition, there's the idea here that in the present you could be deceiving yourself into believing that's the only way to achieve something. Because not everything is a long drawn out process. Some things are short and sudden when it comes to your stability. Or maybe it's about working smarter and not harder and longer for your stability. Maybe it's got nothing to do with your stability, but there's something you're fooling yourself about when it comes to this. In particular, these 3 cards seem to really be nailed together. In the future, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, we have a Page of Wands in the reverse that's linked to this truth in the present. I heard somebody today that was saying it's like, the communication is like somebody holding a little candle out. I really liked that analogy. And so here, if we kind of think about that in terms of that imagery, it's almost as if there's not necessarily a passionate little communication coming out. There is no candle being held out, or it's an unlit candle. Somebody is communicating that they're either uninspired or they're communicating a truth about feeling a lack of passion about something. It's almost as if they started something that they cannot finish in the future. Cancer, what else? What else? Like in the present, they're starting it out, they're creating an idea, or they're bringing to the forefront their vision that they have for something. So they're good at the initiation of an idea, but in the future, the truth is that that's the extent to which they can actually invest in it. They can't communicate on it any further. They lack the inspiration to propel it forward. Tell me more. Tell me more in the future for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What else is there here? I'm going to have to grab one if they don't start falling. Oh, that one almost flipped. In the future. Okay. Six of Wands. There is victory. There is victory for one individual who follows their truth and indulges in their ideas and in taking initiation towards their ideas, as long as they don't allow anxiety to rule, or allow their nightmares and the worry that they have to pervade over everything. There's another individual though who it's falling flat with, or falling flat for them. Because they know how to start things, but they can't necessarily continue to hold the candle for it. Oh, I guess we ended up with a surprise there. Queen of Swords in the reverse. This anxiety is a result, somebody's going to find out in the future, it's a result of a lack of balance. And this is Libra energy, but in the reverse, timing-wise, we're looking at Aries season. Queen of Swords in the reverse. We could be looking at an individual who's lacking balance, equilibrium, or also, simply put, is a very cutting individual who communicates from a space of cold and clinical energy. Think of it like somebody who's cold as stone. Here, if you're looking at a Medusa individual, a very cutting individual. We can safely assume that the individual who causing anxiety for someone has the traits of somebody who's very calculated, clinical, cutting, with their words, but also is off balance when it comes to how they communicate. Somebody who could turn somebody to stone with their looks, like not with their looks like their appearance, but with how they glance at people, you know. We have with that a Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So then we have Aquarius season. But traditionally Libra and Capricorn here. The Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Capricorn individual who is not following their ambitions or lazy in the reverse. An indulgent individual. So your stability could be threatened if you are not, if you're indulging too much, or if you're not following an ambitious path towards something, not putting in the effort and the work that typically a Capricorn individual operating in the positive aspects of a Capricorn would. This could be an individual who's also quite cold, but from an aloof standpoint rather than a clinical standpoint in their communications, but also somebody who comes off as uninspired and therefore unambitious, lacks determination, to reach for, strive for goals. And then I think you're dealing with a Libra here who's got some Capricorn in their chart just by the very nature of having this here. There could be an injustice that occurs. In the future, it comes to light that there was deception, self-deception that was at play. Just by the nature of having this in the reverse with this and then this. It could be a court case that's lost. Could also be that there's something that happens that's not fair, is unjust, and injustice is suffered. But it was something where there was like somebody was lying to themselves about what was really going on. They were told to bide their time, to wait. You see here with the Three of Wands, that they just needed to wait for their ships to come in, and then stability and security would happen. But we see with this, because we have the Justice card and the Queen of Swords in the reverse, I feel like this is somebody who's taken advantage. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. There are two cards here. There's a Tower here. What the hell? Did you not watch this whole thing with me? I didn't see that for 1 second. There was another card underneath here. So now we have a Tower underneath here. That was unexpected. There could be something in the present that's unexpected, an unexpected event that turns out to result in a secure, stable home situation. Also could be an unexpected event that has to do with the end of a painful situation or a sickness of some sort. Like an unexpected turn for the better. Unexpected, you know, in the reverse, the Tower is always something that's an unexpected event that's, you know, not calamity. Not doom. It's still something that it comes out of nowhere. And sets things in motion for a new foundation for which to build upon. With this, and this, it could be with the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Wands, it could very well be a windfall of some sort that alleviates worry, doubt, and fear within someone. But in the future, unless you're very careful and don't mind the self-deception, you could be looking where somebody comes in and you know, swindles you out of a bunch of stuff. I wanted to say pilfers rather than swindles. Somebody who isn't willing to put in the hard work to earn something themselves. Yeah, look at this. There's a win here. There's a win. Lastly, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It doesn't necessarily have to be a monetary win. It could just be a mental win here. And it could also be a health win with the sickness and the anxiety and the grief and all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden taking a turn for the better that you weren't expecting. It's inspiring. Lastly, I don't know why that one wants to come out. I'm not going to let it. Lastly, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. Seven of Wands in the reverse. Defensiveness. You didn't defend yourself. That's what the self-deception is. You didn't defend yourself. You didn't protect yourself. You didn't think you had to protect yourself against the criminal element. That's the problem here. You didn't think you had to. You see, these are all people. This is a mob coming after this person with a bunch of sticks. You know what I mean? After they've won the victory battle, this is the mob coming after them. And they have to defend themselves, so they're up on a hill going, oh my God. But in the present, you have the self-deception of the Five of Swords. In the future, right below it, we have somebody who felt like because they took their sweet ass time with this action up here, and they thought they had done their due diligence as a result, they didn't think they had to defend themselves against injustices, people ripping them off, people not treating them fairly, people who lacked equilibrium, if you will, or even determination, passion, ambition in their careers, laziness, the lazy people. They didn't think they had to protect themselves against that kind of stuff. You know, they didn't think they would fall prey to that. And that's the self-deception there. So if anything, this is just kind of a caution for the end of July about that. Yeah. Let's take a look at the Rebel Tarot for you. Give you, or Rebel Oracle rather, to give you some no bullshit advice. And then we'll move on to an affirmation until August. That was really surprising. I was like, wait a second. Okay. Tell us, what does Cancer need to hear for some advice for the rest of July? Okay. Love. Get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. Okay. So love is important. You know, I think because of this stuff, I would say be careful about that. And let's see here. Also, your affirmation for getting you through the rest of whatever's going to help you survive. Let's see. In the I Am Power Pack. A little bit more colorful than this deck. I think this will be a really good fall deck. Okay, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What can we give them as an affirmation to follow until August? Am I going to have to pull one? Okay, I am empowered. Okay. You're empowered. You're empowered to act a little bit faster than this. You are empowered to claim your peace. You are empowered to seek the truth, and you are empowered to act out of an inspired, action-oriented, forward-thinking space. Okay? Just remember, you do have to protect yourself. You know, don't sit in defenseless energy, because you know, don't kid yourself. You know, don't kid yourself into thinking you're safe. You know, that's kind of, don't sit in a naive headspace, right? Anyway, all right, we'll see you when we see you next, Cancer. Yeah, okay, bye.